I have thoughts. I have lots of thoughts. So, as see, you drew me off sides, and it's even a football topic. Okay.
That's right. Promo UPFront, money in the pit, the bullets, a full podcast.
Country roads take me home to a place I belong. And that's wherever is your home. That's where you belong as we kick off episode number 186 of the Promo UPFront podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. Let's call him the good doctor. Let's go back to where we began, the one and only Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how the hell are you? And are you glad to be off the road from PPAI Expo?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I really am. I'm really good. Expo was really good this year for me. As we talked about that a little bit last week, excuse me. But yeah, man, there's nothing like getting home and sleeping in your own bed. And I don't know about you, but while I've got a little bit of this, going on, but nothing bad. Like I feel good, which I think a lot of people really got hit hard by sickness coming out of Expo. And not a huge surprise, but so I feel very good that I am feeling good. So how about you, man?
Same with you. I'm glad dry January is almost over. Not because I didn't drink, but because I'm tired of people telling me that they took part in dry January, more than anything else. No, like you came back from Vegas and kind of have that 4 or 5 days of, am I just tired? Am I getting sick? What's going on? And then you see all the social media posts of,
Man.
I've got COVID, I've got Lyme disease, I've got I've got the plague, whatever it
Yeah.
is. Seems like everybody got sick this year.
Yeah. Usually they
And
don't
I hate
share when they
that.
get herpes, but yeah,
Well, okay. Well,
don't
let's
share that. I'm just saying.
super. Okay. Anyway, I'm glad to be home. And I know you are too. And I'm finally rested. It took
Yeah.
me a few days to kind of catch up and get rested. And it was a fantastic PPAI Expo, and I'm sure you're glad to be home as well, as you mentioned. The weather was so crazy, I felt like I had to watch my phone for potential flight delays. It's got me to thinking about something. It got me to thinking about how much there is to watch in the industry right now, Kirby.
Mhm.
Now, did you watch and notice that our good friends over at Bell Promo dropped 3 fabulous new products?
You know what? I had the opportunity to talk to the folks at Bell Promo. So yeah, they've got a lot going on.
Well, yeah, so then they've got 3 new travel mugs. You got the ATM 398, which is the Lotus 23-ounce travel mug that's got no handle.
Mhm.
Very easy to take around, portable, and that's as low as $549. The ATM 388, that's the Hugo 40-ounce stainless steel mug. And we all know those popular stainless steel mugs. Now, this one has a plastic inner liner, so it's a little more cost effective, and that's as low as $699. And then I think it's my personal favorite, the Alps, the 40-ounce stainless steel travel mug, fully insulated stainless steel, and that's as low as $889. Hard to beat that. With Bell Promo, here's what you don't need to watch, Kirby.
Mhm.
You don't need to watch your inventory because they have the largest inventory in the industry, and it's ideal for large orders and opportunities. You don't have to watch minimums, low minimums, 12 pieces, 12 pieces. Can you get lower than that? Theoretically, yes, but in reality, no. 12 is the lowest you can go. And you don't have to watch your wallet, Kirby, because they have the lowest pricing for printed in-stock merchandise. In fact, if you find a lower price for any printed in-stock item, they're going to beat it. Now, my sense is you've been watching all the great things that Bell Promo's been doing, haven't you, Kirby?
Yeah, no, I've become a big fan, especially we talk about this ever since Promocations. We've really developed
Yeah.
a great relationship with them. And so Susan and Tom and the whole crew over there, we've really fallen in love with how easy it is to do business with them, to be honest with you. They just make it easy.
Yeah, and that was a theme throughout the promo cruise. And Kirby, there's no way on God's green earth or the devil's red earth I could have said it any better. But I'd like to add something else, if I may, that bears watching at Bell Promo. It's the fact that they have that's right, free spec samples. It's pretty good, right?
That's pretty good. That's hard to beat.
I'm going to beat it. How
Yeah.
about free shipping on free specs?
Okay. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's almost impossible to beat. So head over to our good pals at bellpromo.com. Kirby, are they going to be sorry they did?
They will not be sorry they did.
Excellent. I want to thank you for having the courage to podcast with me this morning as I'm amped up.
You are.
So we get back from the trade show. I have the upfront section. So one of the things I was, Kirby and I kind of talk about, there's weeks that it's great to have the upfront section of the podcast.
That's easy.
And there's weeks that it's less than great to have the upfront section of the podcast. This is one of those weeks until I started thinking about how my week was going. And what I want to chat with you about, especially from your perspective as a distributor, the week following Expo and how you manage your time, how you manage your follow-up, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to share what I do from a service provider perspective. So when I go to Vegas, I'm not there to see new products. I go and see new products because I absolutely want to do that. But that's not for my clients. My clients are distributors. My clients are suppliers. And in some cases, even other service providers. So I have a lot of follow-up. So my week in Vegas is meeting, lunch, meeting, dinner, meeting, it's just like that. So this week, I kind of categorized my week, and I did this over the weekend because I was like, I have so much to do. I don't know how I'm going to get it done. And I have a finite period of time to do it. And I don't want to become a complete mental patient about it. I really want to do it smart. So this is what I did. I actually wrote it down. I broke down. Monday was my organization day. All I did Monday was organize. What do I need to do? When do I need to do it? How do I get, what's the best way to stack my tasks so that I'm super efficient? So it's not running from something that's, very creative to something that's very, non-creative.
Yeah.
So I could stack. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So I could stack things. So that was really most of my Monday. Tuesday, I had meetings. I had 9 follow-up meetings on Tuesday.
Wow.
All of them Zoom, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I wanted to do that. And I did a couple little things in between the meetings. Now Wednesday, it was cranking out work. It was I had almost no meetings yesterday. I basically just did work. I did some graphic design. I did some writing. I did some planning in terms of marketing plans and things like that I need to get to clients. Today's Thursday, so after we get off, today I will be delivering a lot of the things I've been working on to people, a lot of the creative assets, things like that, making sure that everything's ready to go for next week. And then Friday, it's really just getting back on track, getting ready for the next week. So get back into my routine of how my week flows. So I feel like it's been a good plan. I've made notes on how I might change it next time, but I want to hear what you do from a distributor perspective.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think what you just said there is I wish I was quite as organized as what you have been. So the way that our meetings fall, we do a monthly sales meeting, a monthly staff meeting with everybody. That fell on Monday. Well, so that's right away. It takes some time to prepare for. Now, the good news is so I spent the weekend looking at that. And Jade, who went with me, kind of worked on kind of doing an update from the Vegas show for the team. So, the whole idea is we're going, but we want to bring that value back to them. Tuesday, tried to jam in as many meetings. I literally, my first meeting was at 7 a.m. with a client, and I went till late to try and just because Vegas, and then we had vacation too. So I'm trying to jam a lot into a few days. Yesterday was actually the OPA show, the Tom shows, which starts in Cincinnati.
Sorry,
Exactly.
I always have to do that.
No, so Cincinnati, Columbus, today's Cleveland, and Detroit on Friday. So I took the whole team to go there. And then, so today then is podcasts, content, and then hopefully meeting with a couple clients too. So I haven't been nearly I haven't had that day in the office to do work. And that's been making me a little crazy, to be totally honest with you. But historically, one of the things, the two things that I try to take back from Vegas are number one, just cool new products that we can start to showcase. I know that, one of the things we say is, oh, you don't want to be a product salesperson. And I think that's true, but I also think that when you go to Expo, one of the ways that you showcase that you're on the cutting edge is to showcase those new products that are cool, right? And I always joke that my market tends to be at the tail end of the snake when it comes to trends.
Right.
So I'll come
Right.
and show them something in January or February, and someone in October, November will be like, "Hey, remember that thing you showed me in January? We're
Right.
ready for it now." And then that leads nicely into the second thing is just trends. I want to be
Yeah.
well steeped in knowledge about what is going on in the industry. You know, here's a news flash: sustainability, like that. Like we need to be able to create that
Yeah.
conversation. Actually, at one point, my daughter said, "Don't get me wrong, this is actually really important to me, but if one more person says sustainable, I'm going to throw up in my mouth." Like it, like,
Yeah.
but it's important
Yeah.
for us to know that trend, right? Um,
Yeah.
so those are like the two things that it's like new products and new trends. And by the way, it does go to
Right.
your point that, the whole pumpkin spice thing, that it was, if everybody's saying it, if you're saying this is a
Yeah.
differentiator, but every one of your competitors is saying the same thing, it's not a differentiator. Just side note.
No, and that's such a great segue for a topic I'm going to bring up a little bit later. But I want to go back to something you said of, we don't want to be product salespeople, but it is important to be aware of new products. I
Right.
completely agree, and things that are on trend, cutting edge. I think the key though is, and I know you well enough to know, you're not just showing up at a client saying, "Look at all of this new
Mm.
stuff with blinky lights." It's you bring products to tie it into something, a message that your client needs to deliver. Hey, I saw this new product that I think is a more effective use of your marketing dollar because
Mhm.
it's going to broadcast your message further, wider, whatever.
Yeah.
So I know you always have purpose with that. So if you're just showing up with, "Hey, here's new products," I'm not sure, I'm not sure that, and I know I don't think you do that. I think you're always tying it into how it might fit into somebody's marketing plans. And of course, there's a piece of, I don't know if this fits or not, but this was insanely cool.
Oh,
So
that's it.
look, it's not I'm
Yep.
not dealing in absolutes here,
Right.
but I know for the most part, when you're looking at products
Yeah. You're looking for a
and
specific
you're
project.
correct, and a specific client, maybe not here, not even a specific project. I think just a specific client. Hey, I don't know where this fits in for
Yeah.
you, but this is you.
Yeah. So I agree with
So
that. It's the one time of year, like there's one or two shows per year where we will actually create a presentation or a deck that is,
right.
because the reality of it is, even with my best clients, I know a lot of what's going on, but it blows me
Sure.
away how often, if I show them something, like if I say, "Hey, these are trending products, I'm not sure if they fit
Right.
in from low dollar to high dollar. These are really cool things, and we can discuss this at our next meeting and how it might work."
Right.
It's the one or two times a year that I do say, "Here's 10 cool new products that I'm not sure how it fits, but let's get together and see," because
Yeah.
I think it does show. And again,
I
you can
agree.
push back on this, but I think that doing it all the time, no. But I think a few times a year, you say, "Look, we're on the cutting edge of what's going on." It's almost a branding piece for us to feel that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I won't push back because I think it's all gray area.
Yeah.
I think if someone is an absolutist and says, "I'm going to show clients just new stuff all the time just
Right.
because it's new and it has no
Right.
relevance to their business," that's dumb. I think if you hold off and only show things because it's only relevant for their business,
Mhm.
but that's dumb as well. I think,
Right.
we are becoming a society of absolutes, and
Right.
it
Agreed.
drives me bananas. And so I don't want to contribute to that. I agree. There is a happy medium in there, and there
Yeah.
is time to just say, "Hey, look, I don't know if this works for you or not. I
That's
just thought it
cool.
was really cool,
Yeah.
and this is
Yeah.
something I'm seeing." Yeah,
Yeah.
so I completely get it. Completely get it. Completely agree with you about the sustainability piece, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Hey, Kirby,
Mhm.
I know you're aware of the phenomenal brands that make up the Canata Group, right? Canata
Mm.
blanket, Canata towel, Neat Feet, big time jersey. But I don't know if you know this, you can now find all of their brands at one destination. That's
Okay.
right. Our pals at Canada have launched a brand new website, thecanadagroup.com. Every
Okay.
brand under one roof. It's super easy to navigate. Still has all that fabulous, amazing merchandise, and it's so intuitive. I've test driven it. I've gone on it. It's easily one of the best website user experiences in the industry. Yes, I was driving the Canada bus. They gave me the keys and everything. So I challenge everybody. Go ahead and pause the podcast. You can start it back up again. Pause the podcast. Head over to the Canat Group.com and see what everyone's talking about. We're all talking about it. That's all we've been talking about in my house since I got home is that website. All right.
I believe you.
So do that. All right, Kirby. Do you have another topic for us?
Yeah. So this may be a quick one. I'm just curious to get your take on it. Because speaking of things that people were
Every
talking
time
about,
you say it's a quick one,
it's not,
it's a quick one, I go bananas. So I'm bracing for impact. And I'm ready to go.
So speaking of things everybody was talking about, when I got out to Vegas, whatever day that was, I think it was Saturday, there was a playoff football game between the Chiefs
Yep.
and the Dolphins, I believe it was. And it was
Yep.
NBC Universal. They put it only on Peacock.
On streaming.
Yes, that's
Yep.
right. So, people were talking about it because, to be honest, I think a lot of people were really pissed, right? Like it was,
Yep.
I mean, so had I been home, I am not one of those people who get sucked into that. I'd have been like, I guess I'm just not watching that game, right? I don't need another
Right.
streaming service personally. But even in Vegas, I went to one of the bars to have a burger and a beer, and they didn't have it. I'd had to go to a whole nother part of the casino to go check it out. But looks like it worked. So in the 3 days leading up to the game, they gained 2.8 million new subscribers at a $5.99 per month tier. And the wildcard game shattered prior ratings, drawing an average of 23 million viewers, making up 30% of internet traffic. So what say you? Are we going to be seeing more of this when it comes to playoff football? Are they going to be doing them exclusively on streaming networks? How do you feel about that? Go.
I have thoughts. I have lots of thoughts. So, as see, you drew me off sides, and it's even a football topic. Okay. So, football is still the golden goose of entertainment in our country, and so that doesn't surprise me. What you say, 5.3 million new
2.8,
subscribers, something
2.8
like that.
million. Yep.
2.8. I doubled it for them.
Yeah.
But they're
But
probably
they
gonna lose.
they only had 30 million before. So that's a pretty,
Right.
it's almost a 10% bump.
Yeah, and my guess, I'd like to see how many of those subscribers stick
Right.
after 1 month.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't buy into that. It's working.
Yeah.
It
okay.
worked.
Yeah. For
So
a
they
brief
got
period.
$5.99 out of the 2.3 million people. Nice cash influx for sure. But I'm not sure it makes it sticky.
Yeah.
When we talk about sticky marketing and sticky products, that to me is you're just begging people to hop in and hop out for no reason.
Pay-per-view.
And it's for a couple reasons. Yeah, and it's a great analogy. Perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. In fact, I didn't even think about that. I feel ashamed now. But here's the thing. You want people to stick around and basically have access to the office, which is basically all Peacock is, from what I can tell. Do a different game presentation. Do something different. Do something interesting. Do something that I can't get anywhere else. Don't take what essentially I can get everywhere else and just slap it on something I got to pay for. Now, I subscribe to the NFL Sunday Ticket. Okay. That's their YouTube TV now. For 20 odd years, it was direct TV. Football is something we have enjoyed as a family. My kids love it. Sandy likes it. I love it. I like the option. If I want to, if two teams I didn't think were good and I'm out of that market and all of a sudden they're good, I want to see that game. So
Yeah.
I like that option. It's worth the $300 or whatever year it costs me. However, I get very offended when I pay for access to every game, and the second to last week of the season, there was a regular season game also on Peacock that I didn't have access to, even though from my perspective, I paid for it. I think they need to figure that stuff out. I think if someone pays for the NFL Sunday Ticket, basically I get all regular season games. I think you get every playoff game for free anyway. Toss in that one for Peacock and figure out how to make Peacock whole. The NFL needs to figure out how to make Peacock whole, because asking me after I've shelled out $300 some odd to pay for a game, I do find offensive. And I think it's one of those things. What do they say? Pigs eat, but hogs get slaughtered. And the NFL is getting to be a little bit of a hog.
Yeah.
And I worry about that stuff, with the product. So sure, great. They got some streaming numbers. Um, I don't see it as it's not sustainable unless you're going to put the NFL on there all the time. Now, what I think they're doing, I think the NFL is doing what they always do. They're dipping their toe in the water. What's the tolerance for this? And maybe we can start selling streaming access to specific teams. I've said this for years that I think the NFL Sunday Ticket, I should have the opportunity to buy every game. But what if I just want to see the Browns games? Why
Mhm.
can't I pay a third of what I pay for everything, but just have access to the Browns games that are out of
Mhm.
market?
Yeah.
I think if you remember when Notre Dame became, or NBC became the official network of Notre Dame, I can see very easily where, Amazon Prime is the official network of the Los Angeles Chargers. I
Mm.
do see that. I see that day coming, and you have to subscribe because the money's going to run out at some point. They've
Mm.
got to find new revenue streams. So I see what they're trying to do. I don't love it, and I don't think it's sustainable because you only had to pay for a month.
Yeah.
It real quick, and I know I'm babbling. It's like when I used to not pay for an annual membership to PPAI because I was concerned that I wasn't getting the value out of it as a service provider. I'd sign up month to month on October. I'd sign up for Expo. I'd pay my monthly fee through January. In January, the second I got on the plane, I'd cancel my subscription or
Mhm.
my membership because I didn't feel I was getting the value out of it. Now that's not saying anything negative against PPAI, but because I didn't feel like there was value and I could go month to month, there was no incentive for me to keep paying for all year round. So
Right.
if I'm Peacock and I'm going to do this, I'm making people commit to 6 months, make commit
Mhm.
to a year. But that's just me.
All right.
What do you
There you go.
say? Sorry, I'm Bill Petrie and I approve this message.
No, I mean, I was, I think it's a slippery slope, right? Because at the end of the day,
Hmm.
when it comes to, now this is a playoff game, which is why it was ultra offensive, I think, to people. Um,
Absolutely.
I'll either go to a bar, I'll go someplace, and they will not get my $5.99 because I don't need another streaming service, and I just won't do it. And so I'll watch the highlights on, ESPN the next day. So and what that happens is that they lose their advertising dollars, and they start to lose me as a viewer. And so, as you mentioned, it was a slippery slope. I think it is.
Well, the other thing is you're inviting people to steal. I tell you right now, I shared my Peacock password with 3 people, and I saw 2 of them log in for that game because they wanted to watch it. Now I
Yeah.
was at dinner because we were in Vegas. You're inviting people to share their passwords and stuff, and I
Yeah.
mean, it's just it's really dumb thinking. But yeah, okay. Well, thanks for pissing me off, Kirby. All right.
What I do, man.
All right. Hey, so earlier in the podcast, which 14 hours ago when we started,
Yep.
you mentioned sustainability was a huge
Hmm.
buzzword. And
Hmm.
we've talked on this podcast before about greenwashing,
Yep.
people claiming things are sustainable when they're not, so on and so forth. Well, I read an article on the PPAI media website about
Hmm.
the growing problem of AI washing, so similar to greenwashing.
Okay.
The SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, is looking into cracking down on AI washing. So, like I said, it's similar to greenwashing, where a company's environmental statements are misleading or false. AI washing refers to the practice of claiming a product or a service is AI powered when they're not. So, as we know, AI is a catch-all term, and it literally refers to tech that exhibits some level of learning, adapting, and automating. So, for example, chatbots on websites, which I have one on the Brand of Eight site, people want that's not AI. That's
Right.
not AI at all. Another example, like simply using an algorithm to analyze my search engine, what I search for, then I get tailor-made ads to that. Also, not AI. So I really wanted to get your opinion on this. We've talked about how I think AI has just become this weird marketing term, much like
Mm.
organic or cage free or farm raised. I don't know what half of it means. Sounds great. Yeah, but it might as well be now with more molecules, half that stuff. I don't even know what it means. So I want to get your opinion on this. And should the government get involved? Is it a real issue? Because there's a congressional committee that's getting together, this a bipartisan committee looking at how do we do this? Because it's a wild west out there right now.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think you know this about me. Whenever the sentence or the question is, should the government get involved? My initial
Well, yeah,
thing is no,
right.
because historically
I'm from the
speaking,
government. I'm here to help.
and historically speaking, the people who are assigned to this congressionally or whatever don't know their ass from a tin bucket when it comes to whatever we're talking about. There was nothing more entertaining than watching uh, Congress people
Right.
quiz um, Zuckerberg on
Zuckerberg.
yeah
Yeah.
on Facebook. I'm like, like, if you don't understand the platform, you shouldn't be trying to come up with this.
Right.
And I don't know. Yes, I think that it is a little bit exhausting when people are saying that everything is AI powered.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that I kind of think that will play out in itself, because I think it's just the latest buzzword that will move along. Like, not AI itself, but the idea
Right.
that things will, you know, I don't know. I don't see this being as big an issue that we need to start enacting laws over it. Do I think that some of the things that are, this is AI powered are bullshit? Yeah, sure do. But I tend to go, no, it's not. And then I move on with my life. So that's just me.
Well, yeah, and first of all, let me be clear. I agree with you. Anytime the government gets involved, it usually slows things down, makes things worse, even though some lawmakers have really pure intentions.
Of
Not
course. Yeah.
all, but
Yeah.
some do.
Yeah.
But it gums shit up. It really does. Like the joke, I'm here from the government, I'm here to help. Scariest sentence in the English language. However, I'm going to push back with you
Sure.
a little bit. You are a sophisticated consumer.
Hardly.
You have a good bullshit detector. You can tell within reason. We all make mistakes. None of us is perfect, but for the most part, yeah, that's not AI.
Mm,
And that's not machine learning. You can do that. In fact, I think it's easier to do than when I buy a carton of eggs at the store and
right.
it says cage free, free range. I don't know what that really means. To me,
Right.
free range is there's 5,000 acres and these chickens are running around. And then I believe the law is it's like 8 yards. That's
Mhm.
free range, which that doesn't sound free range, especially when you got 9,000 chickens in it.
Right.
Whatever. I think because you're a sophisticated consumer, it's easy to look at it from that perspective of it'll sort itself out because you're right, over time it will. But how many people get harmed while it's sorting itself out? Not everybody is so sophisticated. What about the elderly who get scammed all the time? What about people who maybe not understanding that simply having a chatbot on your website is not AI and machine learning? I don't know. Again, I
Mhm.
do not know the answer, and I don't think enacting laws that probably would overreach because we're a reactionary culture is the answer. I just don't think doing nothing is the answer either. So I really struggle with this. If it was just a marketing problem, I I agree. It will sort itself out. But people lose money on this stuff. People spend money and then they can't get it back, or they buy things that don't exist. If we went back 25 years, maybe Halo wouldn't buy Starbelly, right? Halo bought Starbelly on the promise of this technology that didn't exist. And the
Mhm.
company had to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy because of it. I see things like that happening.
Yeah, no, and again, I'm not saying that people aren't being dishonest and that there won't be
Yeah,
some ramifications from it. I just haven't heard any, like, okay, my website
I haven't
has
either.
chat and it's AI
Sure.
enabled. Yeah, it's a bullshit statement, but I don't know how it affects me as a consumer, that I'm either buying in or I'm
Yeah.
not. So I hear what you're saying, and so I'm not like saying absolutely not. I just haven't gotten my head around the idea of where it really feels like fraud to me.
Right. And I'm pushing back because I
Yeah.
wanted to have the
Yeah,
conversation. I
yeah,
mean, generally,
100%.
I agree with you. Look, you and I have talked about AI. I use AI
Mhm.
often for creating stock photos and
Sure.
I have an image in my head, but I can't, I don't have the graphic design skills to do it. So I use AI to help sometimes, and I don't
Yeah.
have a problem with that. So
Yeah.
it was just an interesting
Yeah,
conversation,
for sure.
as we this technology advances and it goes faster and faster and faster every time we turn around. It's just pretty interesting stuff. All right, Kirby, do you have one more topic for us? Or no?
Yeah, we'll
Are we
do
finished? Are we
one
done?
super quick.
We'll use done. Super quick.
Yeah, because we're at 30 minutes. So
Yep.
it's
Oh,
just
cool. We better wrap it up.
yeah, so I just want to give a shout out, I guess, more than anything.
Yeah.
We got back from Vegas and we're talking about what we did for the week. And I think
Yeah.
I sometimes lose sight of the gauntlet that multi-line reps
Yeah.
and factory reps go through
Oh, yeah.
because Vegas is brutal. I was talking to one rep that had a week of
Yeah.
shows the week before Vegas, and of course you got ASI.
Yeah.
The Tom show
Yeah.
happened right afterwards. So TISPA, OPA, and it's Cincinnati, Columbus,
Oh,
Cleveland, and Detroit. God, love them.
yeah.
It's no
Yeah.
wonder everybody's sick. And it's
No kidding.
those folks, I use the opportunity to talk to our team to say, hey, let's give some grace on whether people get back to us quickly on email this week. I mean, it's just the lifestyle
Right.
that they have to live for a month or two, man, kudos. And I don't, we can have a different debate on whether or not it's all worth it. Right.
Yeah. And we should.
Kudos,
Not
yeah.
today, but we should.
Yeah, but kudos for all you
Yeah, I
guys
agree.
out there killing it. It's hard work.
I agree. The multi-line reps, it's funny. So some of these just supplier companies Brandivate does some work for. Of course, I go visit their booths, thank them for being client, talk to them, have that wonderful FaceTime that a PPI Expo really affords.
Yeah.
Right? It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And so my former business partner, Kelsey Cunningham, she's now a multi-line rep with Ben Norris, who's a good friend of both of ours. And it's funny. So as I was hopping booth to booth on Tuesday, I know that the multi-line reps, they rep maybe 6, 7, 8 companies. They're hopping from booth to booth. They spend an hour and a half in this booth, hour and a half in that booth, and so on and so forth. And I went to 3 straight booths, and Ben Norris was at all booths. It was like, stop following me. And then I tried to find Kelsey to say hi, and she was always in a different booth. I'm like, I could not. And Ben showed me the schedule. Between X and Y, I'm in this. Between Y and Z, I'm in this. Holy cow. How do they keep it straight? And then what you were saying, you add the extra layer of the regional shows and things like that, the Tom Show, which is a great series of shows, but it immediately follows Expo and it really does cater to those folks who didn't get out to Vegas.
Right.
Holy cow. I don't know how they do it either. So huge shout out to all the multi-line reps who really kind of some unsung heroes in our industry. I think you would agree. And they're a group. I think you and I would agree would bear watching, but that's not the only thing that bears watching in our industry. Kirby, not at all. It's our good pals over at Bell Promo. We talked about the 3 great products they've dropped in terms of travel mugs, stainless steel tumblers, and they have that 40-ounce fully stainless steel inside, outside. It compares with I don't want to say the word, but let's say the mug is manly, as it were, rhymes with manly. As low as $8.89. You don't have to. Here's things you don't have to watch though with Bell Promo. Their inventory, largest inventory. Their minimums, low minimums, 12, and your wallet, the lowest pricing for printed in stock merchandise. Head over to bellpromo.com and they invite you. Just watch us. Now, Kirby, I want to thank you for watching me podcast at a platinum level today. Wow, was I on fire.